In the deep silence of space, a small human spaceship moved slowly between the stars. The stars looked calm. But space is never safe. Captain Mira sat on the control chair, looking at the empty black screen in front of her. Suddenly, a light blinked. "Captain," said Pilot Jonas, "we're receiving a weak signal." "Very old, very strange." Mira stood up. "Play it." The sound that came was broken and soft. A voice, not human. It was like a whisper, mixed with pain. "Help, help, my child." Everyone on the ship went quiet. Engineer Tasha looked at the screen. "The signal is from an unknown alien ship. It's not moving. Could be very old or dying." Mira thought for a moment. "Plot a course. We're going to check." "But Captain," Jonas said, "it could be dangerous." "A trap." Mira nodded. "Yes, maybe. But maybe someone really needs help." The ship moved toward the source of the signal. After some minutes, the crew saw it. A huge alien starship floating in silence. The ship looked old, broken, like a ghost from another time. Its body was dark gray with glowing blue cracks. Parts of it were missing, as if it had been attacked long ago. "No life signals," said Tasha. "But wait, one small life sign, very weak." Mira grabbed her helmet. "I'm going in." She and Tasha entered the alien ship through a broken hatch. Inside it was cold. The walls were covered in strange symbols and lights that flickered. "It's like a forgotten city," Tasha whispered. They walked slowly, weapons ready, lights on. Then they heard it. A soft cry. They ran toward the sound and entered a large chamber. It looked like a command center. But everything was destroyed. In the middle of the room, one figure was sitting on the floor. An alien mother. Her skin was silver blue, glowing slightly. She was holding something in her arms, a small body. Her child. The mother looked up at Mira. Her eyes were big and wet with tears. She was shaking. "Please, help," she said in broken English. "My child." Dying, Mira knelt down beside her. The child was not moving much. Her skin was pale, and small lights inside her body were fading. "We need to take them now," Mira said. Back on the human ship, doctors rushed in. The alien child was placed in the medical bay. Machines tried to read her body, but nothing matched human biology. "She's not responding to any treatment," said Dr. Lin. "We don't understand her biology." Mira stayed close to the child. The alien mother sat beside her, quiet but scared. "My name is Mira," she said gently. The alien mother placed her hand on her chest. "Serene, your daughter?" "Leah," Mira nodded. "We will try. We will help." But hours passed. Leah's body grew colder. The lights inside her skin were dim. Suddenly, when Mira touched Leah's hand, something strange happened. A small light in Leah's hand blinked. Mira pulled back in shock. Then touched again. The light blinked again, stronger. "Doctor!" She shouted. "Look at this." Dr. Lin ran tests. "It's impossible." But somehow, when you touch her, her body responds. "She's getting energy from Mira," Tasha said. The alien mother stood up, her voice shaking. "You are the only one she connects with." Mira sat beside Leah. She held the little girl's hand. The child opened her eyes just a little and looked at her. For the first time, the child spoke. "Light." Mira's eyes filled with tears. "I'm here. I'll stay with you." But something still didn't make sense. "Why me?" Mira asked. "Why only me?" The alien mother sat beside her. "You, not just human. You are key." Mira looked confused. "Key to what?" Before Serene could answer, the lights in the room blinked. The ship shook slightly. Jonas's voice came on the speaker. "Captain, we're picking up movement. Something is out there, watching us." Mira looked at the child again. Leah's eyes were glowing. The ship was quiet. Too quiet. The hum of the engines was soft. Lights blinked slowly along the hallway. But inside the medical bay, time felt frozen. Captain Mira sat beside the alien child. Her name was Leah. She had been asleep unmoving for hours. Her silver blue skin looked pale now. Her body had soft glowing lines, like little rivers of light, but they were fading. Mira held her hand. Every few seconds, a faint pulse of light ran through Leah's veins. But it was weaker each time. "She's slipping away," whispered Dr. Lin. Across the room, the alien mother, Serene, stood watching through a glass wall. Her eyes had not blinked in minutes. She didn't speak. She didn't cry. She just waited. Mira looked at the readings. "Is she sick? Injured? What's killing her?" Dr. Lin shook his head. "It's not a virus, not a wound. Her cells are giving up." Mira frowned. "Giving up? Why?" The doctor paused. "Like, her body doesn't belong here anymore. Something inside her is shutting down." Outside the medbay window, stars passed slowly in the dark. The ship floated through cold space, but something felt near. Something unseen. Leah's mind inside Leah's body, something strange was happening. In the dark silence of her mind, she was falling, floating. She saw a black ocean. She was sinking into it. She called out, "Mother." No answer. Then suddenly, a light, a warm hand, a face. It was Mira. In her dream, Mira held her hand and whispered, "Don't let go." And in that dream, Leah felt safe. Back to the med-bathing machines, beeped once, then twice, then again, stronger. Her heart rate just jumped. Dr. Lin said, "What did you do?" Mira looked confused. "Nothing, I just held her hand." Zareen entered the room slowly. "You, Mira, are light to her. What do you mean?" Mira asked. The alien mother placed her own hand on her daughter's head. Her voice was soft but clear. "My child is made of starlight, like all of us." "But her light is dying," Mira asked. "Why can I help her?" "I'm not special." Zareen looked into Mira's eyes. "You are more than you know." Then she pointed to the scanner on the wall. Tasha had been watching it the whole time. She turned to Mira and said slowly, "Captain, there's something you need to see." The strange scan the computer showed Leah's energy pattern. It looked like a spiral of light and sound. Then, beside it, Mira's pattern, almost identical. "What does this mean?" Mira asked. Tasha zoomed in. "You and Leah share something. Not human, not alien, but connected. Connected how?" Mira asked. Dr. Lin spoke slowly. "Something in your blood, Captain. A gene, old hidden. We never saw it before." Serene stepped forward. "Your light matches hers. That is why she survives when you are near." Mira sat back, confused. "I don't understand. I'm human." Serene nodded slowly. "Maybe, not completely." That night, Mira couldn't sleep. She stood in front of the glass window, watching Leah sleep. Stars drifted past. Mira remembered her own past. She was adopted. No real records, just found as a baby in a hospital crash site. No one knew where she came from. She whispered, "Who am I?" Suddenly, Leah moved. Her eyes opened. Just for a second, she looked straight at Mira and said one word, "Home." Then she closed her eyes again. The warning, the ship shook. Red lights flashed. Jonas's voice came through the speaker. "Captain, something's outside." A large object. No signal, just shadows. Mira ran to the control room. On the screen, something dark. A shape, floating slowly, but huge. Like a black wing, stretching across space. Tasha whispered, "That was never there before." Mira's heart raced. Then, Leah's voice came through the medical speaker. "She is not safe. The darkness has followed us." Everyone turned to the screen. The shadow was moving closer. Space was not quiet anymore. Something moved in the dark beyond the ship, a presence. A shadow with no name. But inside the ship, all attention was on Leah, the alien child who should have died, but didn't. She was still weak, but alive. And every time Mira came close, Her condition improved. Dr. Lin had no answers. Tasha had no logic. Even Serene, the alien mother, only said one thing: Mira is the key. The memory room. That night, Mira entered the memory room, a small chamber on the ship where crew members could replay moments from their past using brainwave recordings. She sat in the chair, placed the band around her head, and selected the only file she had from her childhood. It was blurry, old, incomplete. A hospital, fire, screams, a child crying. Then a strange woman appeared in the video, tall, pale, with glowing eyes, carrying a baby. The image glitched and disappeared. Mira stared at the dark screen. Who were you? She whispered. Leah's dream. At the same time, Leah lay still in the med bay, but her mind was moving. In her dream, she saw two planets, one green, full of light, and the other black, full of smoke. Between them floated a bridge made of stars. She walked across it, small, afraid, until a hand reached out and held hers. It was Mira. In the dream, Mira looked like starlight. Come with me, Mira whispered. Connection confirmed. The next morning, Mira sat with Dr. Lin. He looked tired. His voice was quiet. Mira, we've scanned everything again. And? She asked. Your DNA holds a code, a very old one. How old? Older than Earth's recorded history. Mira felt cold. Lin continued. Your blood has fragments of alien biology. Same as Leah. Mira stared at him. You're saying I'm not human? No, not fully, he said. Maybe you never were. Mira's choice. She sat beside Leah again. Leah was awake now, her eyes soft, glowing like a moon. You saved me, Leah said in a whisper. Mira smiled sadly. I didn't even know I could. You carry the light, Leah said. Same as my kind. But shaped by Earth. Mira shook her head. I don't even know what that means. The alien mother entered the room quietly. There is a word, Serene said. Bridgeburn. Myra turned. What's that? Long ago, there were children born from two worlds, alien and human. But they vanished. You are one of them. Mira's heart beat faster. But how did I end up on Earth? Serene looked down. Because your people were hunted. The shadow returned suddenly. Lights flickered. The alarm sounded. Captain, Jonas shouted through the intercom. That thing outside, it's closer now, and it's reacting to Leah. Mira stood. Reacting how? It's pulling energy from us, draining power. The screens turned red. A shape appeared, dark wings. Eyes like burning holes. No sound. Just pressure. Leah grabbed Myra's hand tightly. Myra froze. Leah whispered, It wants the light. A shared vision in that moment. Mira and Leah were pulled into a vision, not a dream, not memory, something else. They stood on a ruined alien world. Bodies of shining creatures lay still. The sky was torn, and the shadow floated above it all. It had no name, no voice, but Mira could feel its hunger. It had killed Leah's people, and it had chased their last survivors across stars. Until now. Back to reality, Myra gasped, pulling away. What did we just see? She asked. Sadashreen replied, The end of our world. The shadow destroys light. It follows those who still carry it. Mira touched her chest. Then, it's here for me too? Leah nodded. We are both bridges. We are the last. Later, Mira stood alone in the observation deck. The stars looked different now. She was not just a captain, not just human. She was something else. Something lost. Something hunted. She placed her hand against the cold glass, and behind her, Leah spoke. Softly, your light woke me, but soon it must protect us both. Asterisk. The alien ship wasn't just broken. It was ancient. And it still held secrets. In a cold, silent chamber below the engine room, Mira stood alone, except for Serene and Leah. The walls here glowed with soft blue light. Strange symbols pulsed like the heartbeat of a sleeping memory. Serene stepped forward and touched the wall. The wall shifted. A small round object rose from the floor. It looked like a floating crystal, humming gently. "This," Serene said, "is a memory orb. It shows truth, but only if truth is already inside." "You," Myra stared at it. "What does that mean?" "It will show what your blood remembers, not your mind." "The blood remembers." Myra stepped closer. The crystal glowed brighter. She hesitated, then touched it. The world around her changed instantly. Now, she stood in a forest of silver trees under a black sky filled with 2 moons. Birds with glowing wings flew overhead. Children with bright skin and gentle laughter ran between the trees. Myra gasped, because she wasn't watching. She was there. She was one of them. The forgotten. Past the vision showed her mother, not human, but beautiful, strong, and kind. She held baby Myra in her arms and whispered, "You must live." Then came the burning sky, the shadow. Screams. Ships flying away. Her mother placed baby Myra into a pod and pressed a button. "Earth," she whispered, "hide her in the light." And then darkness took everything. Back to reality. Myra collapsed to the ground. Her hands trembled. She was sweating, heart racing. Leah touched her shoulder gently. "Now you see, you were born of stars, but raised by Earth." Myra couldn't speak at first. Then quietly she said, "I thought I was human." "You were," Serene said softly, "but not only." The rare gene in the medical lab, Dr. Lin showed Myra a new scan. He pointed to a small spiral inside her DNA. "This gene, it's not in any human we've ever seen. It's pure energy code." "What does it do?" "It heals, it connects, it carries memory, it's alive." "And Leia has it too?" "Yes," he said, "exactly the same." Myra stared at the screen. "This gene, it's the cure." "Yes, but not just to save her." He looked serious now. "It might be the cure to many dying species. Maybe even Earth one day." The decision in the quiet of her room. Myra sat with Leah beside her. The child leaned her head against Myra's arm. "You feel like home," Leah said. Myra smiled, but it faded quickly. Serene entered and said, "We need to leave this space. The shadow is still near, but Leah cannot survive without more of your connection." "You mean more than holding hands?" "Yes," Serene said. "You must give her your light. Through your blood. Through your code." Myra was silent. "Will it hurt me?" "Maybe," Serene said honestly. "Or maybe it will change you." "Into what?" "We don't know. No one's ever done it." The message from Earth. Just then, Jonas rushed into the room. "Captain, a message from Earth Command." Myra opened the screen. It showed an emergency report. Unknown energy drain spreading across nearby colonies. Ships disappearing. Planets going dark. And one warning. A force is coming. Possibly non-physical. Avoid all alien contact. Myra looked at Leah. Leia's eyes were glowing. "The shadow is spreading," she said softly. "It's looking for me. And now for you." Myra walked into the alien healing chamber, a round room with soft white walls and floating lights. This was where the gene transfer would happen. Serene placed her hand on a panel. The room began to hum. Leah lay quietly in the center. Myra stood beside her. "If I do this," she said, "there's no going back." Serene nodded. "There never was." Myra took a deep breath and stepped into the light. Asterisk. Space began to crack, not with sound, but with silence. It came slowly, like cold smoke leaking through the cracks of the universe. The human ship floated alone near a dead star. Engines quiet, lights dimmed, and something unseen moved just beyond the sensors. After the transfer, Myra opened her eyes. She was lying in the alien healing chamber, her skin cold but glowing faintly. Leah sat beside her, smiling. Stronger now. Her small hands glowed again, full of light. The transfer had worked. She was healing. You gave me your spark, Leah said softly. Myra sat up, still dizzy. I feel different. Serene stood nearby watching. You are different. You are no longer fully of Earth. The first echo, the lights flickered. Jonas's voice came through the comms. Captain, we've got a problem. Mira rushed to the control deck. The crew stared at the screen. A shape was approaching. Not metal, not alive, but moving. Black wings, a shifting form. Made of shadow and stardust. Bigger than a city, Tasha whispered. It's not a ship. Dr. Lin added, it's not matter. Mira just stared. She had seen it before. In dreams. In Leah's memories. And in her own blood. The pulse. The ship's power systems began to die. Lights dimmed. Oxygen levels dropped. One by one. Systems failed, without warning, without attack. It's feeding, said Serene. On what? Asked Jonas. Serene looked at Myra. On light. The voice without sound. Suddenly, Mira heard something. Not through her ears. Inside her mind. A whisper that echoed without words. It called her name, not Mira, but something older. Something she didn't recognize. Myria. It wasn't speaking. It was remembering her. Leah held Mira's hand. It knows you. Myra froze. Why? Serene answered, voice heavy. Because it was made from us. Long ago. The old truth. Serene sat the crew down and told them a story. Long before stars had planets, there was a species made of light. They lived in harmony with the galaxy, moving through energy, time, and memory, but from their own brightness. Something terrible was born, a crack, a hunger, a shadow. It had no name, only need. It devoured its creators, one by one. The Mira looked at the shadow on the screen, then at herself, her hands still glowing faintly. What if it's not just hunting me? She whispered. What if it needs me? Leah looked up. It's not trying to destroy you, Myra turned. Then what is it doing? Leah whispered. It wants to become you. Inside the dark. Suddenly, the ship shuddered. Darkness bled into the corridors. The walls began to pulse, not with power, but with pressure. Like breath. Mira ran to the medbay, but Serene was already there. She held out a small sphere. If it reaches us, use this. It creates a light barrier, but only for a short time. Mira nodded. The shadow was now almost touching the ship. And then it spoke. The encounter. Everyone on the ship heard the voice, not through ears, but through memory. It was not angry. It was lonely. It said, you left me behind. Mira stood still. I didn't create you, she said. You are me, the shadow answered. I am your other side. Suddenly, a tear opened in space, not like an explosion, more like paper being peeled apart. Behind it, stars disappeared. Planets vanished. And the shadow began to step through. You must choose, Serene said. Run, fight, or face it. Myra stepped forward. I'll face it, she said quietly. She looked down at Leah. If I don't, it'll follow her forever. Asterisk. The stars were fading, not just from the window. From everywhere. Light itself was being pulled away, piece by piece. As the shadow slipped through the tear in space, the crew tried everything. Shields, weapons, nothing touched. It wasn't here to fight. It was here to merge. The silence. Before Mira sat alone in the center of the ship, inside the quiet chamber. Around her, the walls flickered dimly. A soft hum filled the air, not from machines, but from her own heartbeat. She looked at her hands, still glowing, not fully human anymore. Not fully alien either. Just becoming. Leah's gift. Leah entered slowly. She held something small, a clear stone, glowing from within. It's from my mother's homeworld, she said. Before it was taken. What does it do? Mira asked. Leah placed it in Mira's palm. It doesn't do anything, she said. It only shows what you already are. Mira looked into the crystal dot at first, just her reflection. Then, something else. Two shadows, one of light and one darker. Shaped just like her. A visitor in the dark. The lights died. The room froze. Mira stood. But she wasn't in the room anymore. She was somewhere else. A void. A cold place made of starlight and ash. Across from her, it waited. The shadow. It had a face. Her face. It stepped forward, slowly. You came, it whispered. I had to. Mira said, You're not afraid anymore. No, she said, but I still don't understand. The shadow tilted its head. You carry what I lost. That spark, that purpose. I was not born evil. I was born left behind. The bargain. The shadow reached out a hand. If you let me. We become whole again. We can end the hunger. Together. Mira stood still. And what happens to me? You dissolve, it said. Not death, not pain, just peace. Mira closed her eyes. She could feel it. The quiet promise. The stillness. It offered. No more questions. No more fear. Just the end of self. The echo of the crew. Suddenly, she heard voices. Faint, distant. But real. Tasha. Jonas. Dr. Lynn. Leah. Calling her name, reminding her that she was more than light or shadow. She was choice. The answer. Mira opened her eyes. She looked at the shadow and said quietly, No. The shadow froze. You would rather suffer? I would rather live. Mira raised her hand, and for the first time, her light didn't flicker. It flared. The breaking point the crystal Leah gave her began to glow, brighter, hotter. Mira pressed it to her heart. The chamber exploded in light. Not fire, not energy. Memory. The forgotten lives. The broken planets. The scattered survivors. Every soul that had ever lost its home. All of it burned through her veins. Like starlight. The sacrifice serene arrived too late. She saw only light. And Mira standing at its center. Mira turned to her. Take Leah. Get her out of here. You won't survive this, Serene said. Mira smiled gently. I'm not supposed to. She turned back to the rift and walked into it. Alone. Silence. After light. The shadow screamed without sound. The tear in space closed like a wound healing itself. And the stars returned, one by one. Back on the ship, Leah looked out the window. Is she gone? Jonas asked. Leah shook her head. No, she's everywhere now. 1 year later, the stars looked the same, but everything had changed. A new Earth. Leah sat quietly in a garden on New Earth, one of the human colony worlds. She was older now. Not in years, but in presence. The light inside her no longer flickered. It flowed. Flowers around her opened when she passed. Birds chirped louder near her. The sky always felt clearer. Where she walked, people didn't understand her, but they felt better around her. As if life itself remembered how to breathe. Myra's absence. The crew still missed her. Captain Myra. Gone into the rift. No body, no signal. Just light. Serene lived quietly now in the hills outside the colony, far from cities. She watched Leah grow, watched her smile. But every night, she looked at the stars and whispered, Thank you. The dream that wasn't a dream. That night, Leah woke from sleep. Not afraid. Just pulled. She walked barefoot through the grass, under the twin moons, and stopped beside a quiet lake. The water reflected the sky, and then another face appeared. Not her own. Mira. Smiling. Alive in the reflection, but glowing, not as a body, but as light shaped by memory. You found peace, Leah whispered. Mira's voice echoed inside her mind. Not peace, purpose. The hidden signal. At the same time, far above the colony, a human space station picked up a strange pulse from deep space. Not a threat, not a call, just a pattern. A song made of code and stars. Jonas, now commander, stared at the screen. The message repeated just once. We are not alone. She walks among the stars. And life begins again. The legacy weeks later, a new program was launched, the Starlight Initiative, using Myra's recorded DNA and Lia's healing abilities. Scientists began restoring species long thought extinct. Plants old Earth viruses were neutralized. Even dying children responded to the light-based treatment. Leah never claimed to be a hero. She just smiled, listened, and placed her hands gently on the sick, and they got better. Final scene. A child and a voice one evening. A small girl came to Leah. She was weak. Her eyes were pale. Her parents had lost all hope. Leah knelt beside her, held her hand, and the child whispered, "Are you an angel?" Leah shook her head. "No, but I carry the light of one." Last line. From the stars above them, in the sky, a faint glow moved between. The stars, not a ship, not a comet, just light. Shaped like a woman walking through space, watching, smiling, never truly gone.